Talk to me about your competitive history, because you're like a freaking rock star. You're 3-time world champ?
So it's 2016, 18, and then 21. I've been competing in Oregon. That's the only place I've lived and competed. And in Oregon, NPC is huge. And that's the only thing I knew of. So I just competed just for the heck of it. And then I think 2015, somebody said, "Hey, you should compete naturally." And I thought, what's that mean? I looked it up and I found the WNBF. That's the first year that I competed with the WNBF. And it's just been heaven ever since then.
I feel like the level of conditioning for the natural athletes at that world's competition is far and above that of the conditioning and just like the truly dense muscle of those in the IFBB league.
Their bodies are just trashed out and they don't function like they used to because they put so much wear and tear on it.
And we are live. Lisa, how are you today?
I am good. Thanks, Robert. How are you?
I'm good. It's been, when was the last time we saw each other? Was it Aaron's show?
I think so. It's been almost a year, it seems. That's
Pretty
a while.
good while. You got anything in the pipeline? You're a promoter. This will be your first year promoting, right?
It's my first year promoting in Portland, the very first WNBF in Portland and natural show in Portland. So I'm pretty excited. It's going to be September 20th right here in a little place called Multnomah Village. So excited. Not a lot of entries yet. So a little nervous about that. But the idea this year is just getting the word out that there is a natural federation. Everybody's welcome. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm super excited for you. And what's crazy is you're going to be judging my show a week later. So like, I don't know how you're going to be so sleep deprived and ready for a nap after all this.
Well, I know. And then you volunteered. You said that you would show up for my show, and I totally appreciate that. However, your show is the week after mine. And so I thought, nah, not a good idea on your part. But thank you. I really appreciate the offer.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk about the show promoting and all of that good stuff. What made you, want to do that? But before we even touch on that, talk to me about your competitive history, because you're like a freaking rock star. You're 3-time world champ?
Yes, I got lucky 3 times. So, I've been competing in Oregon. That's the only place I've lived and competed. And in Oregon, NPC is huge. And that's the only thing I knew of. So I just competed just for the heck of it. And then I think 2015, somebody said, "Hey, you should compete naturally." And I thought, what's that mean? So I Googled it, I looked it up, and I found the WNBF. And I reached out to John Nickerson, another promoter from the Northwest, and I said, "Hey, can you tell me more about it?" And so we met, and he said, "Okay, you're going to do this show, and this show." And I said, okay. And so that was in 2016. I did a show in April, got my pro card, luckily. Then I went to Sacramento and competed there as a pro so that I could compete at Worlds in LA that year in 2016 as a pro. So I just followed my directions. He said, "Do this." And I said, okay. And then that's the first year that I competed with the WNBF. And it's just been heaven ever since then. It's been fun.
It's been awesome. And did you win Worlds that first year?
I did. I was, like I said, you just never know who's going to show up. So you show up with the best package you can and everything falls into place at that time. But, just that one particular day at that hour that I was on stage, I was the lucky one to be chosen. So, you put in the work, just see what happens.
So what years was it that you won your 3 Worlds titles?
So it was 2016, 18, and then 21.
Nice. And you competed again in 23 because you and I were backstage together.
Yes, I did. So I competed every year. Didn't win every year. I mean, but, placed, I think, top 3 for those years. So 23, I was second. And then in 24 was my last year, I was third. And so, when it goes first, second, third, you kind of think, well, maybe it's time for me to get out. But it's been so great meeting all the people, seeing and having conversations with you backstage. That was really fun. And I think who was with us? Russ?
I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, we were waiting in line forever for something. And so we just started conversation, which was really good. And I'm so glad I met you because now we get to see each other at different events. So
I
Very
know,
cool.
I know.
Hmm.
Were you doing bodybuilding in the NPC prior to going into the Natural Federation?
Yeah, I was only a bodybuilder back in the day when I started. I think it was in the late 90s. There was only women's bodybuilding. That's all there was. So you went to a bodybuilding show. There were men bodybuilders and female bodybuilders, and that was it. No bikini, no figure, no nothing. So I started as a bodybuilder and just stayed. I tried Fit Body one year. Epic fail. Epic fail. One thing with the high heels. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy that I stood upright the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that didn't work for me. So just a bodybuilder.
What was your motivation for getting into the sport to begin with? Like, how old were you when you started lifting weights?
I was active when I was younger and I think I played college sports, but then after college, you know how you just kind of fall off the fitness wagon, right? Everybody just kind of gets a life, gets a job. And so I was getting these really awful migraine headaches, like almost 2, 3 times a month, and it would just knock me out completely. So one day I was like, I need to get some air. So I started walking around outside and it kind of went away. So then I thought, well, maybe I just need to keep moving. And then I joined a gym and I just started small little exercise things. And I haven't had a migraine since mid 90s, I think. And then a friend of mine was doing a show. So I went to watch and I just sat there and went, oh, I so want to do this. And I think my first show was 1996. And I
Nice.
was 130 pounds to start off with, and I think I dieted down to 108. People were calling my mom and saying, "What's wrong with her? I think she's sick." So, and then after that, you just kind of, so this is my story too, is that after you compete, you gain lots of weight. And then you compete
Hmm.
again, you lose lots of weight. Then you do this, and it's so hard on the body. And when I turned 40 or so, I just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. So I just kind of hover now at at this weight where I'm at, comfortable.
So you were never like overweight before competing, right? Like that was never your story.
I was a kind of when I was in college. So I'm 5'3" and I weighed 150 pounds, which is not obesely
Hmm.
overweight, but it was chunky. I would call it chunky in that time. And then when I started working, I lost weight because I would get sick all the time. I'm a school teacher, or I was a school teacher. So those kids bring everything into the room and I would get sick all the time. So I lost some weight there, but pretty much stayed at about 130, which is not thin. And I wasn't fit, but starting that exercise program, and then it just progressed from working out to actually trying to compete. And so on and off. I've probably done over 40 shows in my lifetime now, which is not a lot compared to some people,
It's a
but
lot of
still,
shows. 40 shows is a
there's
lot
a
of
lot of
shows.
shows. Yeah. Well, but I'm 62 now. So my last show was 24. I was 61 at my last show. So, it's all
Yeah.
about the long haul, right? The longevity of the sport.
Playing the long game is key. I keep telling that to everybody I come in contact. That's why I love natural bodybuilding because like there's such an
Hmm.
emphasis on the long haul with natural bodybuilding. You don't really get that conversation in the untested federations at all.
Yeah, it's all about the win right here, right now. So everything is immediate when you're taking something because they wanted it yesterday. So they have
Hmm.
no patience. And it takes a while to put on that muscle, I tell you.
It does. It does.
So,
What
yeah.
uh
So
what what subject and grade were you teaching?
I taught elementary special ed for 30 years, same school. And then I decided to retire after 30. And then I went back and substituted for the next 7 years, still at the same school because the teachers got pregnant or, there was just a leave or something. So for 37 years, special ed.
Were all the
Yes.
elementary school kids jealous of how jacked you are throughout all the competitive seasons?
Some of them, but it's odd because people look at me differently because they don't see a lot of women with muscles in their culture. So we had, a diverse population and people would look at me like something was not right because they weren't used to seeing women with muscles. And so, yeah, I'd get the, oh, you're jacked kind of comments from the young kids,
But you
but
look
it's not as
great
much.
though. I mean, I remember one year I was at a show. You were judging. I don't know if you were the head judge or one of the assistant judges, but you were judging, and I was in a row or two behind you. My mom was watching that competition, so maybe I had competed and then stepped off stage and went to go sit next to her. And she kept looking at you and she's like, man, I want calves like she's got. And I'm like, yeah, that's Lisa. She's a freaking rock star.
And so, that's all about it's like just kind of living the lifestyle and encouraging others that it doesn't matter where you start and whatever, it's your journey to be the best person, the best that you can be. And so it just takes time. And especially at the gym, I want to be like that. I say, well, you got a couple of years. So
Hmm.
just keep going, just keep progressing. It's just the consistency. So hopefully that people see me and I'm a natural role model for them and they know that they can achieve things without any help. It just takes time. So
That's what's so cool about your story and your physique and just how you've done things. I mean, you compete in bodybuilding, which people typically just assume are, really heavily muscled and just massive. And you're not massive, but like you're
not
put
massive.
together like a bodybuilder. Like you have, like, it wouldn't make sense me seeing you in a bikini category. Like you look
I
like a
tried. It
bodybuilder.
doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. You look like a bodybuilder, but you're not like this overwhelmingly large figure. Like you flow and you're very aesthetic and it's all healthy, it's all natural, and you don't have these crazy shifts anymore, between off seasons and in season
Hmm.
and, massive 50-pound swings. What was that journey like? Because that's something that oftentimes goes unspoken in the bodybuilding realms, but
Hmm.
most competitors have some form of disordered eating. They'll have these really sloppy building phases. I did that my first couple years. I
I
think we're all
think we all
guilty of it
do.
at some
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah.
like, how did you break free of that negative downward spiral?
Oh gosh, it took a long time because you just want to eat everything. I would make
Hmm.
lists. I would scour through cookbooks and all these bad foods and things that I wanted to eat. But every time I did that, I felt horrible. You just feel horrible. You gain 15 pounds in like a couple of weeks and you're just bloated and you just don't feel good. And then so it really plays a trick on your mental stability, right? So I would go into depression after every show because I wouldn't look like I did on stage the weekend before. And I still get a little, when I look in the mirror and go, oh, goodness gracious. But I just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. And I just watched my eating. So I did the reverse diet without calling it a reverse diet. And I just minimized all the extra junk food things. And so I kind of
Hmm.
stabilized. And then after that, it was easy. But it took a few years for me to get to that point. And so now after the shows, we have the judges' feedback. And I tell everybody, be careful of the reverse dieting, be careful of the depression that you may go through, because nobody tells them that. Everybody's
Hmm.
like, yeah, go ahead and eat whatever you want and just, gain some weight, gain some muscle. I said, well, don't dirty bulk, which everybody does. Like, oh, I'm going to put on 20 pounds. Like, well, that's just fat. So
Yeah,
stop doing that. Put on some good muscle, eat good. And then when you prepare for your next show, it's not so hard. You won't have to lose 40 pounds. You might have to lose 20, and the dieting or the prep, whatever they call it, is easy. And then when it becomes the lifestyle, then you don't have to worry at all.
totally, totally. And I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of federations and promoters don't really help in that regard because they'll have like treats and stuff backstage for them to eat after they step off, the final call. And it's like, well, we're just kind of like feeding into that negative feedback
Hmm.
loop. And I mean, I did that for like several years. My first show, I lost 80 pounds in 12 weeks. And then I went out to eat and I gained it all back. Not all of it, but I gained 24 pounds in 24 hours with a celebratory
Uh,
meal afterwards. And I felt terrible. I was super sick. And then I was like
hmm.
binging and purging for years. And it's like, that's no way to live. And there's got to be a better way. But that never really gets talked about openly. So it's
Mm-mm.
important.
It's important. I think they're getting better about it because other people, they're doing it, people are doing it now. So they're doing that reverse diet. They're really being more mindful about how your body adjusts to it because it's not healthy for one. And then you go into that cyclical, physical, emotional kind of spiral down that drain. And so I think more people are talking about it now than before, but still
Hmm.
not nearly enough. So what I'm thinking now, I got to thinking about that this morning. After my show, I'm going to offer just like a counseling kind of just like a feedback session for the things that you may go through after a show. So I
Yeah,
think that would be a
it's
good
good.
service for other people to do so. If it works out, then I'll like cue you in on it so you can
Yeah,
do it at your show
definitely.
too, right? But
I'm going to be taking notes for sure.
Yeah, it's all about the education. Like people are cutting, they're not drinking water, they're not doing this because that's what they've heard, or that's what Siri says, or that's what YouTube says. I'm like, no, you just need to eat. You need to feed
Hmm.
the body. You need to fuel the body. So a lot of misconceptions out there still, and it's just with education and finding a good trainer and nutritionist. So I know you do
Totally.
both, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, education around nutrition is my wheelhouse from a ketogenic standpoint. Like I did the standard American, flexible dieting approach for my first several shows, and I went keto to kind of beat these disordered eating tendencies that I was struggling with. And I've just
Hmm.
been keto ever since for competitions as well. And you follow more of a mixed diet, like you're having, all macronutrients, but you're doing very healthy. You're taking a very healthy approach to it. Like you're eating whole foods, you're eating real nutrient dense stuff. You're not eating a bunch of
Yeah.
junk food, and you're doing it the right way.
Not during prep season. In the off season is a different story.
You
Okay.
probably don't let
Shh.
yourself go too far off center, because I mean you still have. I mean you're not like 50 pounds overweight right now.
Oh no, 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 no. So I try to level off. I could probably maybe between 8 and 10 pounds off of stage weight, just because I'm comfortable there. But I'll allow myself treats. I'm a big chip fan and ice cream, so that goes in a vicious cycle. But my foods are good, and I just try to stay. I can, you look in the mirror. I don't ever get on the scale. I don't count calories, and I don't count macros. I weigh my food because all that other information is just too much for me. So I weigh my food. I know exactly how much I'm eating pretty much. And
Hmm.
so it's easy for me because it's what I do all the time. And so it
Yeah.
doesn't change. When I get ready for a show, I just cut out the extra junk food and the sauces. I love sauce. So like
Hmm.
everything on my food is sauced. But yeah, and I can cut down on it. So I could actually get ready for a show in 4 to 5 weeks if I really wanted to
What?
just maintain.
How do you structure your nutrition with taking the mixed diet approach? Like if you're not tracking calories or macros, but you're weighing everything out, so all that's getting accounted for, even if you're not measuring it out necessarily. Do you have any idea kind of how much more you're eating in a building phase versus the cutting phase? And are you gradually tapering your intake that entire cut, or are you just dropping it to a lower intake and then holding that stable? Like how do you typically go about it?
So here's the thing, and this is pretty much why I decided to stop. I look back and I have never really been in a building phase. So I train hard. I always train as hard as I can, even now. It's harder now because I'm older. My body's a little bit broken down, but I never like ate excess calories to try and build muscle. And so in the past 8 years, my muscle mass has probably declined a little bit every year just because I'm not pushing that boundary anymore. So I've just been in, I guess, a maintenance phase as far as eating and working out and everything, pushing as hard as I can, but not pushing to gain size. It's because I'm
Hmm.
comfortable where I'm at, but it's not enough anymore. So that's why I thought, okay, I'm not going to compete. But as far as nutrition, so I'll eat the same things pretty much. I worked with a nutritionist, Leo King from
Hmm.
in Canada. He, I think, was in 22 or 23 when I started having him do my nutrition plan, and so he gave me a plan, and I just stay on that plan now. I mean, I just do the measuring of how much things weigh, the proportions of protein, carbs, and fats, and then I can eat vegetables as much as I want. So I stay with that plan. And all the way up until the show, I would stay with that plan, but clean it up. So less sauce every week. And then
Hmm.
until like the last 2 weeks, I would use no sauces, which is fine. Barbecue sauce and stuff is not that much. And then at times, before the last 2 weeks, I would actually increase my calories. So I would almost increase my calories the last 2 weeks, a little bit at a time, just to keep full because my body was still losing, even though I
Hmm.
was eating the same amount. And so I would just maintain it and fill up towards the show. Whereas it's opposite where people cut down more.
Yeah.
But my workout everything stayed the same except for the extra sugar sauces and things like that. So yeah,
What
it's
were
kind
like
of a
the
weird.
staples food wise, like chicken, rice, broccoli, like that kind of stuff?
Chicken. So I'll eat like oatmeal. I love my oatmeal with a protein powder for breakfast. And then I'll have chicken and rice and vegetables and meat and rice and vegetables and then turkey and sweet potatoes and vegetables. So probably 4 to 5 meals a day of a variety of things. Chicken breast, uh, turkey, ground turkey, and then petite sirloin. So, meat. I didn't watch the fat as much, but I knew that in chicken breast and ground turkey, you're really
Not
not
much
getting
fat.
all that
Yeah.
much fat. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally opposite of mine with the high fat. I've been doing like
yeah.
400 grams of fat these past couple weeks on an experiment. So just crazy
And then,
amounts.
and then, so that's the thing I worry about people who are doing the keto with not as much knowledge as you, is that they think they can just eat any kind of fat and things. Is that bad for the body as far as the
You
heart
gotta, I
and
mean, you
things?
want to make sure you're still consuming quality fats. Like I'm going to be doing, quality animal fats, olive oil, avocado oil. Like I'm not going to be getting all my fat from, cottonseed
Bacon
oil
and
or,
cheese.
yeah, stuff like that. But like I get my blood work drawn on a super regular basis too. And like with
Okay.
this experiment, I increased my fats like literally doubled and all of my cholesterol markers actually improved. So it was kind of interesting to see that unfold for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like eating more and still losing weight. But you're
Yeah.
doing it scientifically and you're doing it monitoring everything. Whereas people is like I said, is the education part. They're just doing it because it's the fad thing. Oh, I'm going to go
Hmm.
keto this week. Like you don't know anything about keto. Don't, you need to do the research first.
Yeah,
So
for
even with
sure.
bodybuilding, I want to do a show. Well, okay, I'm just going to not eat carbs. And everybody goes no carbs. Like then you have zero energy. So, it's a lot of education and I'm not quite sure how to get it out there. The good thing about it is this year well, this is my first year. I have a lot of teenagers. So a friend of mine is like a coach, a conditioning coach. And so he's sending a lot of his kids my way, which is
Nice.
good because they're seeing that there's a way to do things without having to take any kind of substances. So that's, yeah,
Yeah,
education.
the youth is super important. Like I was invited to speak at the local high school football team the other day. I put them through a workout and I was talking to them about nutrition and I'm like, this is the way to do it because normally, I'll get clients or older people that have already kind of made a bunch of mistakes and they're trying to get healthy after they've let themselves go. But like, targeting the people that are, you know, early teenagers, it's like
Hmm.
let's catch them when they're young. That way they kind of have the right trajectory right out the gate.
Exactly. It's like a proactive way, kind of like my migraine things. If I continue to exercise, I don't get them. So if you
Hmm.
continue your lifestyle, your healthy fitness lifestyle journey, then you can stay on it a lot longer. So
Totally.
hopefully that's the message we want to give out.
That's the message we're shouting for sure. What
Yeah.
about your training and cardio? Like your training stayed pretty consistent, whether you're in a build or whether you're in off season or prep, and then cardio. I guess you just gradually scale that up throughout the prep.
Yeah, well, I pretty much do the same cardio all the time. I do everything pretty much the same all the time. I have so I used to teach a HIIT class. And so
Hmm.
I do that in the morning, first thing, fasted. I can't eat until I've done something. That's just how my body works now because I've trained it that way. So I'll do maybe 20, 30 minutes of that just to get my body warm. I found that as I get older, it takes a lot longer for my body to warm up. So be mindful as you age, you'll need a little bit more warm up time. And then I'll do weights because I don't work. I can hit like legs in the morning. So I split that up from whatever I have time. Maybe I'll do quads, really focus on quads one day, hamstrings the next day, and then maybe focus more on glutes the third day. So I have like a little separation of my lower body. And then if I go back in the evening, then I'll hit chest, back, shoulders, and then arms. I have the luxury of splitting my workouts out if I want to. And some days I'll do both in the morning, some days not. It all depends. But that's been pretty much my workout schedule for the last 12 years, I think.
Hmm.
And then I'll do a little bit of cardio at the end just to walk things out, get the lactic acid out and stuff, and then all good. But it's just that consistency and the maintenance. So I do
Totally.
something every day, no matter what. If it's just cardio, it's just cardio. But I move every day so that I feel good.
That's the
Yeah.
key. And you've pretty much competed. You said pretty much every year. I mean, there's probably been a few years where you took off, but over those 40 competitions, you were competing relatively consistently without a
I
significant
did I
block.
did take a break from like my mid 30s till my 40s, through my 40s.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just didn't want, there were less and less competitors after a while. And then when I started competing, I wanted to do a show when I was 50. So I geared up for that, but not really. I mean, I planned on it. But there weren't very many female bodybuilders, maybe one or two. Sometimes I'd be the only one. And so it was kind of not anticlimactic, as I guess you could
Yeah.
say, because you would show up and then there would be nobody there. So when I
Hmm.
found the Natural Federation, the first couple of years I showed up, there were 10, 20 people. So it was exciting again. And now it seems to be dropping. You know, it goes in waves with the women. I don't know where the women bodybuilders are anymore. I think it's because there's so many more categories that they can compete in that it's just kind of fallen off. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot. There's been a lot of changes. I mean, just within the WNBF Federation, they're now kind of linked up with the NANBF Federation, which I think is a positive. They're kind of joining forces there. But there's so many female categories that, like when it was just bodybuilding, that's what females
That's
did.
all you
But
do.
when there's now bikini, there's figure, there's fit body, there's, I guess, physique is kind of like the fit body within the
Yeah.
WNBF Federation. Because
hmm
NPC still has physique, right?
They still have physique, and for a while they dropped bodybuilding altogether.
Hmm.
But I think they're bringing it back now. In some of the local shows, I know they have women's bodybuilding, but there aren't very many competitors. It's still big with physique because the IFBB pros have physique. But I
Hmm.
don't know if they have bodybuilding anymore. There's other federations like the Wings of Strength. They have female bodybuilders, but those women are, oh, they're so big.
Those
I
are
they're
those are not
they're bigger than
natural
you. They're bigger than you.
by a long shot. Yeah, they're way bigger than me. Definitely not
Yeah.
natural federations in the Wings of Strength.
No, no. And I think that's why for me it's easy for people to look at me and say, "Oh, she's little. I can do that because I don't have to be huge." And so, keeping this frame, it kind of dispels, like we talked about earlier, the myth of you have to be huge to be a bodybuilder. And it's
Hmm.
really about, the muscularity, the conditioning, the symmetry. It comes down to that. Even little people can win. So, it
Totally.
just, yeah,
Let
that's
me ask you this, Lisa. So I get a lot of podcast guests, especially here lately. It's like HRT, TRT, like that is very popular right now. And it's not like it's even they're coming at it from like a performance enhancing drug standpoint for competitors. Like that's obviously still there as well. But a lot of people are going that route as they're going through menopause, as they're aging, just to stack the chips in their favor and go through that more gracefully, so to speak. And a lot of the science that's coming out is kind of painting that in a very positive light. Like, hey, there's safe ways to do it. There's the ways you can test, and it can be done properly. So for you, being healthy, having fitness and nutrition is such a big part of your life. What kept you on the natural realm instead of using some of that? And again, not even for performance, but just from like a overall health and well-being standpoint.
one, I'm cheap. I don't take anything. I don't take the only thing I take, as far as somebody said, a multivitamin. So those little emergency packets, the kind you
Hmm.
mix with water, has vitamin C and all that. It's the only thing I take. I don't take creatine. I've taken maybe a one bottle of creatine in my whole life. I just don't want to buy it. If I win something at a show, like a protein powder, I'll use it. But other than that, I don't take supplements. I don't take anything. And one, I can't remember to take it. And two, I just don't want to buy it. So I just stay completely natural because I'm cheap.
And
That's
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 not
my
resulted in any like crazy adverse effects, like your like menopausal years, like testosterone naturally declining, like that didn't result in crazy hot flashes or anything like that for you.
Oh, I had the hot flashes, but I was around so many people that already went through it, and I'd make fun of them. And so I thought, oh, that's just coming back, bad karma for me, because now I'm having it. But that was in my 50s. Now I don't have hot flashes. I don't have any of that other stuff. And I don't know, maybe I just don't notice it. But the hot flashes, yes. Oh, you definitely notice those things. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's just part of life. I mean, that's what happens to people when they age. They go through the changes. It's hard to deal with it mentally at the time, but then you get over it, and then it passes. So this too shall pass, kind of a thing.
I really appreciate that outlook because I'm obviously natural as well, and I just promote that as a lifestyle. And I feel like with all the popularity that HRT has gotten lately, I mean, I could totally get behind the biohacking and the sciences and wanting to optimize, but at the same time, like we're human beings and we're meant to go through these natural processes, and
Hmm.
some are better than others. Some might not be desirable, but it's a phase, just like puberty's a phase.
Hmm.
And people aren't taking, I mean, I guess now people are taking stuff during puberty years to, block testosterone, but generally speaking, people aren't. And it's just, you get through it. And I feel like there's a lot to be said for that, and like
Yeah.
now that you are through it, like you're not experiencing any of those adverse effects. Your training's still dialed in. You look
Hmm.
amazing. So it's just a
Thank you.
just a phase.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you have to, it's mental. A lot of it's mental. You're gonna like losing hair. You can fix that. You can either take a pill or you can do some other stuff. Weight loss, everything has a medical fix to it these days. But it is, like you said, it's part of life. It happens. Dogs don't take extra testosterone because they're getting older. They just don't know. So they just live the best life that they can, as happy as they can be, and then they go. And I think it everything happens for a reason. We are who we are. We can be the best version of ourselves by just trying to be the best version of ourselves. And that part, it's harder mentally, I think, because even now I look in the mirror and I go, oof, I almost want to compete again because you miss that. You miss being at that great shape and, having that physique again. But at the same time, you have to realize, well, you're not going to get it back. I'm not 30. I'm not 40. So yeah, it's being mentally healthy that helps get you through the physical changes too. So you kind of have
Totally.
to cycle around those things.
And totally apart from the competition aspect of things, I mean, the if you live your life like a natural bodybuilder, you age so much more graceful. Like I would assume, you said you're 61 now?
62.
62 now. Yeah. I mean, you discovered the fountain of youth, in my opinion. But like you look at your peers that are also in their 60s, like I would assume that you're able to move. You're able to spend time with, grandkids and stuff way better than they are. You're able to get up and down stairs better than they are. You're able to like jump up and have some spring in your step still. And they're not able to do that because they didn't live their life with that compounding routine
Yeah.
that you have.
Yeah. I mean, it's a plus. I still want to do the things that I want to do and be able to do it. I've retired now, so I have freedom to do and travel and do things that I wanted to do when I was working. And it is the longevity of it. I don't know how long, people say, oh, I want to live to be 100. Well, I don't think I want to live to be 100, but I want to have good quality life until the day I'm not here anymore. And that's the part. It's all about the lifestyle and being happy. I feel good, and so I'm always happy. People say, why are you so happy? Or how can you be happy all the time? It's like, because I don't have anything to be unhappy about. I'm healthy. I can do what I want. And I live simple. I go to the gym and I come home. Then I go to the gym and I come home. I don't have too many troubles in my life.
You are always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen you with a frown, which I appreciate for sure. It's noticed.
Well, thank you. Well, it's the only time I frown is because I can't see. And so I'm looking like this. It's like, I just can't see.
So
But yeah.
with you having you were competing for so long, when did you start judging? Like when did that come into the picture?
Well, I started competing with the WNBF in 16, and I think I started test judging at in 2016. I met Bob and Tina in April at my first show, and then they were talking about going to Hawaii for a show, and I was going to go to Hawaii anyway, the time that the show was there. So I just showed up at that show in June. They're like, "Hey, you want to test judge?" I said, "Sure, why not?" And so I've been test judging, and now I'm judging quite a bit, and I just love it. I think I like judging more than competing because
Really?
it's you get to meet so many people. If you notice, the judging panel is usually the same people who are consistent, and so it's like meeting up with family members again. It's
Hmm.
just a great experience, and then we get to encourage athletes. So it's just fun. I can't wait to be at your show. We're so
I know.
excited.
I'm super excited about it. You've judged me. I don't know, probably more of my shows than not. I would guess over the years.
A couple of times. Yeah, I know. I remember it's like, whoa, it's kind of those things with judges. You see people come out on stage and then there's always one or two that come out and you're like, okay, this is what it's all about. And you were one of those. I'm like, oh, you remember that guy? Yeah. So you made a very good impression,
Well, good.
which is great. And this is why you are who you are these days. But, yeah, you just, as a judge, you see the great competition, the great physiques, and then you encourage them. And then with you, I know you came to feedback, didn't you? You came
Oh
to the
yeah.
judges' feedback. The good ones always do. Those are the ones who want to continue to improve. And then, so I'm going to just shout this one out that if you want to be better, you need to know what you're doing or what you're not doing. The people who never come to feedback are the ones who complain. They show the one good picture of them on stage and they say, I should have won. I should have, would have, could have, but they don't know. And until you find out, you shouldn't be saying anything. I
Hmm.
have a real pet peeve about that. People complaining about how they placed, but they didn't get feedback. So they don't know.
Totally. Totally agree. What is your has there been any trends that you've seen over the years as a judge? Like, have you noticed, you know, competitors bringing more size or more conditioning, or is conditioning lacking from what it was 10 years ago? Like, have you just noticed any trends as a judge?
There's several. A competitor mentioned she has competed at Worlds 4 times now, 4 years in a row, and she noticed that in figure that not that she's never competed against the same people. So now I think some women are taking time off to try and build, whereas it used to be women would just compete and compete and compete. And I think a lot more athletes are now taking more time off to put on some size because they see how important it is. So it goes with the trend that people are getting bigger. I think the bikini girls are coming in a little bit harder at the higher level now. We're talking aspiring to that world level. That I think people are just getting more muscular because they're training harder. They know there's more science behind the actual training and the nutrition part. So, people are coming in with a little more size. I've
Hmm.
noticed the women at the higher level of bodybuilding are coming in leaner. Whereas before they were coming in big, but now they're coming in big and lean. So where my conditioning held off for so long is not happening anymore. It's about everything. It's about the conditioning, the size, and the symmetry. So it's really evolving. Like with men, I'm sure you've seen that the men are also getting bigger with the conditioning. And so it's just an evolving sport.
And some of these, I mean, I was at a competition 2 weekends ago, another show here in Arkansas, natural shows, an AMBF show, and man, like their largest category was the teen category, and like some of these teens are just super impressive, and I'm like, where did that come from? I don't recall
I,
being like that when I was a teenager.
No, I see that. I have posing classes and these kids are coming in 15, 16 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have you been eating? Because I need to eat that too. I mean, they're just, I don't know if it's what they always say, oh, it's the things that they feed the cows because they're getting all that extra help, right?
Maybe,
It's like,
maybe,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think maybe they're starting a little bit younger with
yeah,
actual training because of sports, so competitive that they're looking for scholarships. So they're really trying to gear themselves up to be more competitive at the high school level so that maybe they can get a scholarship to go on and play college ball too. So
that
could be
makes
social
sense.
media. Yeah.
Could be social media for sure. They're starting young because of that.
Hmm.
I know we're probably going to sound biased because you and I are both in the WNBF as competitors, judges, and promoters. But am I wrong in thinking that at the top level, the world's federation or the world's competition for the WNBF just seems to be like a totally other caliber than the other federations top tier?
Well, yeah. Well, it's different because it's natural.
Hmm.
Are we talking natural
Not,
federations
not even
or
just natural, but just, yeah, I mean, all the natural federations, even. I feel like worlds within all the natural federations is like next level.
is the next level? Yeah. Well, that's the best of the best when you think it's the world championships, right? So athletes from all over the world come and bring it. Whereas I don't know much about any of the other federations. I'm kind of tunnel vision because I don't know about it. I don't really care about the other federations. They don't have, they have so many shows throughout the year that, I don't know if they even have like a worlds, a
Yeah.
final. destination kind of a thing. I think like the IFBB has, the Olympia and things like that, but that's just at their level or at their federation,
Mm-hmm.
that level. So that's where ours is. And people always think, well, I want to see if I get my IFBB pro cards. Like, why? Why
Mm-hmm.
would you want to come in last place to prove that you're a natural athlete? I mean, there's just no comparison. So, but I do think that the world's is that's the place to be. That's
And I feel like honestly, even if we're comparing the IFBB to the WNBF, like I feel like the level of conditioning for the natural athletes at that world's competition is far and above that of the conditioning and just like the truly dense muscle of those in the IFBB league at that level. I mean, certainly they're much larger, but like when I look at the graininess and just like the hard chiseled physiques of the natural competitors, it's like I don't see that at the IFBB Olympia.
no, it's just size. All
Yeah.
that size. And then whatever they're taking to dehydrate themselves so that their skin can get paper thin. But you think about how unhealthy that is. Whereas when you do it slowly and you do it gradually, that your body just, comes to that point where you get on stage and it's like, wow. Like, look at Babacar. I mean, that guy's a natural,
He's
he's
colossal.
phenomenal. I know
Yeah.
he's the only male to win 3 times, right? So that's just says something about his physique. And I think he got bigger this year. I don't know how that happens, but yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know much about the non-tested as far as how the body changes. All I know is that most of them are taking something like a diuretic to
Yeah.
drain the excess water, and they get a look, but it's not the same as the look that the natural competitors get. So, there's that
Yeah.
difference. But yeah.
And by and large, the natural competitors, long after they're done competing, they tend to hold on to the quality size better than those that are taking a bunch of gear to get that size.
Hmm.
They're all working out hard. I mean, I'm not taking that from them, but like when you look at the IFBB competitors that are just, walking around shredded at 300 pounds, then they stop competing and 10, 15, 20 years later, they've downsized drastically. Whereas the natural competitors, they're still healthy and
Hmm.
they're not that dialed in, chiseled, but they still have the shape and symmetry they've built over a lifetime.
Yeah, that's what I've seen as well. And then they're healthy. Their
Yeah.
body, their joints, everything else, they're still moving. Whereas like, you look at is it Ronnie Coleman and you look at all those
Hmm.
guys that their bodies are just trashed out and they just can't they don't function like they used to because they put so much wear and tear on it early on that now their quality of life is just not the same. But
So
yeah,
true.
that's why the big masters push with the WNBF too. Is because, we need to address the people who are still going at it after all of these years. So I think that's why they want to push the masters categories a little bit further, is that we need to make them still compete because it's hard to compete. I'm 61 and I was competing against 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds. And,
And beating
we
them
just
and beating them.
well, no, but this it's hard. It's still hard.
Yeah.
We can't maintain it for that long, and we just don't have the size that they have now. But so there needs to be a masters category for the people who are. But at the same time, people always think, oh, masters just means that they're old. It's like no, they've been doing it a lot longer, so the muscle maturity and the conditioning is that much better at that age. So just the size isn't but quite the same, but.
Hmm.
Don't count out old people. They're
Yeah.
still good,
No, not at
still
all.
in the
Not
game.
at all. So, do you think you're actually retired from competing again, or do you think you'll grace the stage again at some point?
I know everybody thinks that I'm going to get back on stage unless they have an ultra female bodybuilding, which is 60 and above. And
Ultra.
I still don't think I want to get back on stage again. I'm really enjoying judging. I think I judge almost close to 10 shows a year.
Yeah.
So
You do
that
a
just
lot of them.
keeps me busy and I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm good without. I don't have that. Oh, I wish I was up there. You know how sometimes you watch something and you think, oh man, I wish I could still do it. I'm okay. I sit back and I judge now. I write the scores
Hmm.
down and it's all good. Yeah. I don't think I'll be back.
Well, I'm going to put myself on the spot here a little bit. So, I don't remember the last show that I did that you judged, but the last competitive season I did was 2023. when you look at me as a competitor, what do I need to? I feel like I've got the conditioning part dialed in. Like I don't think I need to. I can't really get any more conditioned than I've gotten.
No.
Where can I make improvement? And I'm saying this so that the listeners can like hold me accountable because I'm just putting it all out there right now.
Well, like I said, as soon as you walk out, everybody's just like, wow. Your physique is it's eye catching because of your conditioning. You're just like dry, you're shredded. Your muscularity is good. I mean, your good symmetry and everything. The only thing is that as you progress, you're going to have to put on more size.
Yeah, for
That's it.
sure.
I don't know where you came in as far as your weight class, but you always want to be the heaviest at the lightest weight class that you can be in. So,
I'm typically lightweight, and I'm normally on the
on the
other
heavier
end of
end.
lightweight, the lighter end of lightweight. I
Yeah.
think I got down to like 151, 153 last season, but I need to be heavy lightweights for sure.
Heavier lightweights. Yeah. See, like, well, Leo, I mean, with the lightweights, all of you guys come in with shredded glutes. I mean, how do you judge 8 people with shredded glutes? It's ridiculous as far as conditioning. So the guys are coming in conditioned at the natural level, at the world level. Everybody has that conditioning. So you need to separate yourself by maybe having just a little bit more size. Again, aiming for the heaviest of that lightweight class. And that's just going to put on more muscle. It's going to just add to your symmetry. So, the bigger shoulders, good quads. You already have good quads. I remember your quads are like, boom, spot on. So anything to make your waist look smaller, so create that more X frame, the smoke and mirrors kind of thing. The bigger the shoulders, the smaller the waist, because that's just going to add to that symmetry. Like Babacar, he's got those tiny little waist and big shoulders. So for
Hmm.
you, because you're already a lightweight, you're going to have to come in heavier at the lightweight. Does that make sense?
Totally. Totally. This is why I take so many years off in between shows. Like I did
Hmm.
23 and I may not compete again till 27, but I guarantee
Oh,
you when you
really?
see me in 27, it's going to be a whole nother package.
They're like, oh, look at that. He's heavy at the lightweights.
Yep.
And it
100%.
takes how, so I'm going to ask you, how long does it take you to put on like a good 2 pounds of quality muscle?
I mean, 2 pounds, I feel like if I'm in a building phase the entire year, 2 pounds a year is pretty realistic.
Okay. Yeah. Cause everybody, you see guys at the gym, I'm going to put on 10 pounds of muscle by August. Like
Yeah, no.
what?
I mean, if you like just started working out, like the first year I started working out, I put on like 20 pounds and it was pretty solid.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't solid muscle, but it was pretty solid. But like if you're a seasoned athlete and you've been lifting for 5+ years, like,
Hmm.
2 pounds of muscle a year is really solid, especially if you're doing it naturally, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's why the thing is, I've been working out for what, 30 some years. For me to put on any muscle, I really have to go on a building phase, and I don't want to eat that much to
Hmm.
do that. And so that's why I just said, that's why I probably won't ever get back on stage again. I'm just too small to get back there, and I don't want to put in the work to do it.
So do you just dislike eating the amount of food necessary to put on that size, or you just don't like losing that much definition to accomplish that goal, or what is the hesitation there?
I think it is. It's both. I don't want to just spend all my day eating and preparing foods. I don't like feeling a little heavier than I normally feel, just because you have to put on and a little bit of extra weight. And
Hmm.
I kind of like the way I look. It's just comfortable for me, and I don't have to do a lot to maintain the look that I have. So it's just having a happy balance in life, whereas I'm good with where I'm at. So
Totally
pretty
makes
much
sense.
that.
Talk to me about the show that you're promoting. So, what was the motivation for becoming a promoter? What are you doing different that's going to set your show apart? Like, give me the details on that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I never wanted to promote a show ever because I'm around it so much and I see all the stress people go through. So that was never on my radar. And then Bob calls me, and we lost the promoter that had the one show in the Northwest here in Oregon. And he said, we need a show. It's like, oh, this was me. uh, okay. And so I agreed to do it, thinking that, it wouldn't be so bad. And then, of course, having to find a hotel and the venue and so many other things, it was overwhelming trying to do a website. I haven't taught for years. And so for me to get back on a computer, it was just mind blowing. I forgot how to do anything on the computer. So it's just, but then I have so much help as well. I've got, the Kings up in Canada who are just more than willing to help out with anything that I need. Katie is a great, they're all great resources and really helpful, except Katie. I don't know if you've ever done Katie's shows or heard about her
I've never
shows.
competed in them, no, but Katie's great.
She's great. She sets the bar very high because she does a lot of swag. Everybody in her show gets a sword. Everybody gets a bag of goodies, all the competitors. And I'm like, I don't have the money to do that. And one, I'm horrible at asking for money. So everything for this show is coming out of my pocket. I'm just paying for everything because I don't know how to ask for sponsorship and I don't want to. But luckily, the venue is not a big venue. So it's a small one, expecting a smaller show because it's the first one. And yeah, we're just seeing what happens. But the more I do posing classes and the more I meet people and help them with their journey, the more fun it's become. It's just
Hmm.
dealing with all the other stuff that is really hard.
There's a lot of administrative stuff because I mean, like, I'm a first time promoter this year as well. We're in the same boat
Mhm.
in that regard,
Yeah.
and it's like, I've got all the business stuff that I do, so that's helped tremendously. Like, I don't know if
Mhm.
I don't know how I would do a show had I not already been doing business and website design and all the stuff that we've done here. So I feel good there, but like, promoting it, marketing it, drumming up interest, like going to different posing seminars, hosting posing seminars, putting flyers out, like all of the
Mhm.
stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's like, it's no trivial task by any means.
I don't know how people do it, and I don't know how people do multiple shows. It's crazy. Yeah. When I sometimes I get into it going, what did I do? What did I agree to do this for? So, yeah, and I don't train people. I don't have any business background or anything. So I came in with nothing, and then at least I ordered t-shirts. I have t-shirts.
Well, you've got a massive heart, Lisa, and that goes a
Thank
long
you.
ways for sure. So I've got no doubt that your show is going to be a knockout success.
Well, thanks. I tell you I had an athlete that follows you. So
Hmm.
she's been training, not training, but she's been doing posing classes with me and she was so ready to come to your show, but financially it would have been hard for her. But she is like an avid keto person.
Oh,
And she did
awesome.
well. She did Katie's show. She won the debut class and the novice class for bodybuilding.
And she did it all with
So,
keto?
yeah,
What's her name?
her name is Alicia Philback.
Okay, I'll look
So
her up. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. I think
Very cool.
her Instagram is Phila Backside or something like that. But yeah, I tried to get her to go to your show. That would have been awesome. Do you have female bodybuilders
So
yet?
what I've found, and you could probably test this too, is like competitors are the worst. They do not
They
register
register.
until the last minute. And I was never like that. I mean, as a competitor myself, like I register as soon as I have my calendar mapped out, like I register as soon as I can so that I can put that date on the calendar. It's like spoken for, it's done. It's off of my chest. And like
Mhm.
most competitors don't do that. They like wait to the last minute, which as a promoter is like horrendous because you've got all
I
these
know.
expenses coming in and
I
there's
know. It's
no
like
revenue.
I tell you, I totally get that. And it's like of a panic point because I've never done this before. And everybody says, don't worry about it. They'll register. They'll register. It's like, I want them to register now. I want to use their entry money to buy the prizes for them. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no revenue at this point. So it is. But that's what people do these days. They wait until the last minute to see if they're ready. Because if
Yeah.
they're not, they're not going to enter and lose their money. So,
But see, I think that's flawed thinking. Like, I feel like if you register and it's on the calendar, it's set in stone, then it's like you're going to have that in the back of your mind when you're training, when you're hitting your
mhm,
macros, when you're doing your cardio. It's like if you know you're going to step on stage and there's no talking yourself out of it, then you're not going to shirk that responsibility. So I feel like
exactly.
competitors would be doing themselves a favor if they
Hmm.
register early and set that date,
Set that date.
in
Yeah. It's
stone.
like this is your goal. This is your deadline right here. You need to be ready. But yeah, they don't do the work ethic these days is a little lacking. I think, things have changed since before because before people would be like, yeah, I'm going to enter this show and I'm going to do that show. So, but these days it's easier to back out than it is to stick with it. So
Yeah,
there's that.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what is the website for your show? I mean, anything I can do to help promote it and spread the word. I mean, let me know for sure. I'm there for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that's one thing too, is I'm terrible about social media. So my posts have been a little less than desirable, but it's just the Portland Rain Natural Classic. So that's the
Portland
one.
Rain National
like
Classic.
like REIGN, like a king
Okay,
will
okay,
reign.
nice, nice.
Yeah, I used to play for a softball team called the Portland Rain, and so that it just popped up in my head. It's like, oh, okay, that's doable, but yeah. So how do you ask for sponsorship? I mean, how do you approach companies?
I honestly haven't really promoted or asked for sponsorships. I've got it on my website. So, like, if you go to our competition website, naturalstatesavages.com, there's like a page to register, or if you are interested in sponsorships, we've got like 3 different tiers,
Oh,
and people
okay.
can do that. But I speak at a bunch of conferences, and I'm a vendor at a bunch of conferences with the booths. So I kind of modeled what I've liked on the vendor side, kind of like for my sponsors. Like we've got one company that just opened up. They're like a DEXA scan, and they've got DEXA scan, VO2 max, like a 3D imaging software, and like resting metabolic rate calculator. And they just opened their doors right down the road from us, and they're going
Oh,
to be a sponsor. They're going to have a booth there. But also like my company is going to be a sponsor. So like we're going to have our
hmm.
keto bricks there. And then I've got like a massage practice there, a couple supplement
Okay.
companies. But I didn't really pursue anybody that I hadn't already had a relationship with. I just like told the people that I already had a good working relationship with of,
Okay.
hey, I've got a show coming up. Would love to have you as a sponsor. If you're interested, we'll have a booth for you or something like that. So
Okay.
that's how I did it, but there are probably way better ways to do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll live and learn, right? So the next show we do, it'll be a little bit better. Right now, I'm just wanting to get people involved and get the word out that we're doing it. So just saying, hey, I'm not going to charge, just come and put up a booth or something so that people know who you are as well. So it's kind of it's just kind of a word of mouth kind of a thing for me at this point, but I'll get better at it because I want to do more for the athletes. That's like,
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's the main thing. That's what I'm trying to really relay it through my messaging. And I feel like when you're doing it for the athletes first and foremost, then like that positive word of mouth spreads, and like competitors
mhm,
want to do your show because you're taking care of them.
mhm.
You're offering value to them. So I think yours will continue to grow because, like I said, you've got a heart of gold, and that doesn't go unnoticed. So like it will continue to get better and bigger every single year.
Yeah, as do you. And this is why I liked you from the get-go. You showed up, you were willing to help and do anything. I think you volunteered at Erin's show the
Yeah,
first time
yeah.
that we actually got to, after the world's backstage thing. And I was like, this guy's for real. He's there to help out. He's working, he's doing everything that he needs to do because a lot of people don't see that backstage stuff, the
Mm-hmm.
setting up, papering the walls, papering the floors, doing all the setup and everything. People don't see that in judging. They just think we show up, wear the t-shirt and score things. But there's a lot to be said about what happens in the back scenes. So when I met you and I saw that, it's like, oh, you guys, you need to get a hold of him because he's the real deal. So yeah, kudos to you for being who you are. It's been a
Well,
pleasure.
it's been awesome because I mean we got like a family. Like we've got like all the WNBF promoters, Bob and Tina. Like we've got that group WhatsApp message thread. It's like everybody's here for the right reasons. We're all wanting to help with the athletes and like
Hmm.
just make it a better sport. Like bring natural bodybuilding more center stage. And when you talk to people that have that shared mission, it's like we're all working together. Like we don't have this competitive vibe. We're competitive on stage. Like if I'm
Hmm.
competing, like I'm ripping your head off. But like as a promoter, as a judge, as a fellow competitor, like we're all just trying to grow the sport so that it's a
Hmm.
healthier option and viable for people to do. So yeah, we're all aligned in that.
Yeah, we'll all just show up for each other. And that's why we're so excited to come to your show. Terry, Katie, and I were like, yeah, we get to go to Keto Savage show. So
Yeah, it's going
yeah.
to be good. I'm excited to have you there. My dad's going to be cooking barbecue for all the
Oh,
judges and competitors, so you'll be getting some homegrown barbecue. It's going to be good. It's going to be really
it's going to
good.
be
We got
good.
a slick
Looking,
venue, so I'm super excited about it.
yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be a great show. Who else is coming? Do you know judges as far as you have a full panel already?
Yeah, I've got all seven. Let
Okay,
me see
good.
here. A couple of them, because like Nickerson, they were gonna both come, but then like they had a wedding or something to go
Yeah,
to, so I
his
had to
daughter's
find
getting
two
married like
more.
in Germany or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So viable excuse for sure. So a couple of my judges, Bob reached out and recommended some NA and BF judges. So I've got,
Okay.
I guess since we're all sharing the same guidelines, now I think I've got two judges there. Kenneth Fritz is going to be a judge. I got the full panel, but I got to go back and look and see all the names.
Okay. So Kenneth Fritz, he was from here because he was at that show that you were at, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he over there now? Did he
No,
move?
he's still up in the Northwest.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's in the Northwest. Like it's funny because I'm in Arkansas, but most of my competitive journey has been in the Pacific Northwest. So like
Mm-hmm.
most of my connections are with y'all up in that region. So yeah, we're all over the place, but we're all one big family.
It's what exactly, and then we'll all do what we need to do. So if there's anything you need in the meantime, just let us know, and then we'll help you on this end because we are in the Pacific Northwest, your stomping grounds.
Yeah, 100%. Well, if there's anything
Yeah.
I could do to help you with your show endeavors, Lisa, you just reach out and let me know because I want to see you succeed with it, and I'm happy to help.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. It's been
You
awesome.
betcha.
So yeah.
So the website one more time for people listening.
Portland Rain Natural Classic.
Awesome.
www.
And what is your social profile that you're promoting?
I think I have L2 Portland Rain so that's my Instagram. And then yeah, L2 Portland Rain. So most of those things I think are on the website and how to contact me and so forth. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, I'll link out to all that, make it easy for people to find you for sure.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I know you have a ton of followers, so hopefully that'll go.
Well, whether they compete or not's a different question, though. So hopefully that will work out, and we'll get some competitors at both of our shows for sure.
Both of our shows. Yeah, back to back. Do both. The polygraph's still good.
There you go. Perfect. Kill two birds
Save
with one
some money.
stone. Well,
Yeah,
Lisa, I
so
think the world of you. You are truly on top of the fountain of youth. You look great every single time I see you on stage. You look better. I mean, you're killing it. You're an inspiration to many, and I'm just
thank
grateful to
you.
know you and call you a friend.
Me too. Same here. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you take care and good luck with the baby.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We'll
All
keep you
right.
posted for sure.
All right. Take care.
Take care.